After 7 years of a marriage filled with growing arguments and cold silences, I decided it was time to end it. At dinner, I finally said the words, "I want a divorce." Her unnervingly calm response should have been reassuring, but it sent a chill down my spine. That night, she offered me a drink, and soon after, I passed out. I woke up in our basement, locked in, and realized I was now a prisoner. Over the next days, she spun an elaborate web of lies to cover my absence, telling family and colleagues that I was away due to a family emergency. Every interaction through the small hatch in the basement door revealed her growing control, culminating in the chilling declaration, "If I can't have you, no one will." While I worked desperately on a plan to escape, her manipulation and cunning made every effort feel futile. Even when someone came to the house, her deception ensured they left none the wiser. My only hope lay in outsmarting her and finding a way to break free before her obsession turned fatal. She tilted her head, a smile curling her lips. Then why did he leave so easily? Why didn't he insist on checking the basement? Face it, he believed me without question. Why wouldn't he? I'm the worried wife, devastated over her husband, rushing to his cousin's bedside. She was right. We both knew it. John had accepted her explanation without pushing further, brushing aside his brief suspicion. "No one is coming to save you," she continued, her voice softening almost tender. "No one is even looking for you. The sooner you accept that, the sooner we can move forward. Together." The hatch slammed shut before I could respond. I heard the deadbolt engage and her footsteps retreat upstairs. I sat in silence, letting the reality of my situation sink in. Slowly, I reached for the cassette recorder hidden beneath the loose floorboard. "Day 10, I whispered into it. John came by. I tried to alert him, but failed. She's convinced no one suspects anything, and she's probably right. I can't count on rescue. The door is my only hope." Clicking off the recorder to save its battery, I returned to work on the door. The fourth and final screw proved difficult, angled awkwardly, making it hard to gain leverage with my makeshift tool. Above me, her pacing was more agitated than usual. The failed visit from John had unsettled her. Perhaps she wasn't as confident as she pretended. Listening to her movements, I gauged her state of mind. She was unpredictable, volatile. If John mentioned his visit to anyone, if he shared his brief suspicion, no, I couldn't afford hope. My escape depended entirely on me. The screw finally gave way. By dawn, I'd loosened it just enough to possibly wrench the lock mechanism. Free. Not yet, though. Timing was critical. I needed to be certain she was deeply asleep. As I concealed my work and lay on the futon, exhaustion overcame me. Despite my failure with John and the hopelessness of my situation, I felt a glimmer of progress. The door was almost ready. My recordings held damning evidence, and most importantly, I understood one thing with perfect clarity. My survival depended entirely on myself. Day 11. This was it. The day everything would change. The morning was spent checking my preparations. The recorder, fully documented with her threats, was securely hidden. The lock mechanism was barely holding. The screws could be removed quickly when the time came. Her behavior changed, too. She checked on me frequently, her agitation palpable. Did she suspect something? "You're quiet today," she remarked at lunch. "What are you thinking about?" "Us," I replied evenly. "The future. What happens next?" Her eyes lit up with that disturbing hope I'd come to recognize. "Are you finally understanding we belong together?" I nodded. "I've had a lot of time to think down here." She studied me, then nodded back. "Good. That's good. Maybe soon we can discuss arrangements for you coming upstairs again." I forced a small smile. "I'd like that." She smiled too, closing the hatch. "Patience. We'll get there when you're ready." That night, I listened intently as she went through her nightly routine. By 1:30 a.m., the house fell silent, except for her soft snores. It was time. Removing the screws with painstaking care, I loosened the lock mechanism. A soft pop sounded. As it came free, I froze, listening. Nothing. The door creaked slightly as I opened it. I stepped out into the hallway, trembling. The kitchen light glowed faintly in the darkness. I searched for my phone. Gone. No matter. Escape was my priority. The back door was just ahead. Freedom was within reach. My hand hovered over the deadbolt when I hesitated. The recorder in my pocket felt heavy. I needed one last piece of evidence. Quietly, I climbed the stairs to our bedroom. Her snoring guided me. Inside, I activated the recorder. "This is my wife," I whispered, "who drugged and imprisoned me for 11 days because I asked for a divorce." Her breathing changed. A hitch, too long to be natural. Her eyes snapped open. "How did you get out?" I bolted, abandoning stealth. Her footsteps thundered after me. "You can't leave me!" she screamed. I reached the back door, her hand gripping my shoulder. I spun, holding up the recorder. "I have everything," I panted. "Every threat, every word. It's over." Her face faltered, torn between rage and calculation. "You won't make it to the police," she hissed. "I'll say you attacked me, that you're dangerous." "Try it," I said, sliding the deadbolt free and stepping into the night. I ran until the police station's lights came into view. Freedom hours later, the officers returned with grim confirmation. She'd been arrested, caught trying to clean the basement. A month later, I stood outside the house, ready to reclaim my life. Inside, the basement door stood open, its shadow a reminder of the nightmare. It was over. As I left, I found the basement key and threw it into the darkness. Some doors are better left locked forever.